Greetings, and welcome to Context Matters. The date is July 2nd, 2026, and we're talking about when telling the truth is a criminal offense, right versus wrong. And what I'm setting the stage because we live in a society. Certainly, if you are from Jamaica, you will appreciate that living in Jamaica, where most things are performative, governance is performative, everything is in the context of um, upward mobility and status. We do a lot of pretending, and a lot of things are pretentious. We live in a society that is filled with emotions, and on top of the emotions is nepotism is the order of the day. So when you find that you are one of those persons who have no problem telling the truth, let me tell you something. Quick. You are public enemy number one. What I will say, in this conversation, we have what is a moral gap, a lapse in morality in the Jamaican society, a lack of respect and basic human decency. We have when you tell the truth, there are those who feel that you betray them. You have people who feel as if you are not supposed to defend your own. And even when you are defending your own, because you do so dignified, with respect, with the ability to command the English language, and you have to contend with persons who in the local space have managed to find themselves in media, state media. So I'm going to say this to you: when you watch CNN and when you watch TVJ and sometimes CVM, you will find um, persons in media that can meet the standard of a CNN. Outside of that, state media is filled with careless people who don't have any sense and concept of journalism. They are responsible for shaping the narrative of the individuals, the characters, and the stories that you consume. We live in a space where consumption of information is guided by who disseminates the information. But I can tell you, no matter how much PR people do in modern society, 2026, Tom drunk but him no fool. There are persons who, no matter how they try to flip the narrative, it is impossible for them to change the story. In Jamaica, we were known to be the most peaceful society in the Caribbean. Probably can go as far as say North America, Jamaica, beat out Trinidad and Barbados, and I think, and of course, obviously, we beat out Haiti. That's probably why the security minister and the rest of Jamaica have no problem sending them back. And before you come for me, the security minister is doing what he is doing, security in Jamaica. But I will say this to you because I want people to understand where we're going today in this context matters. My father always tell me the truth is the truth and is not an offense. Offensive, yes, but it's not an offense. One of the things that you must also appreciate is that the comments of people who are useless beings existing in a miserable dispensation cannot prevent you from excelling, cannot prevent you from becoming the best versions of yourself. Even though they say word is power, and believe me when they say, that's why they say the pen is mightier than the sword. Don't allow people to inject negativity into your life and you receive it. You must find your affirmations, You must find the words that you need to all continue to elevate yourself, because there are people who every single day, as long as you're alive, they make it their point of duty to what they call bring you down, because you are from a crab in the barrel society. If you know the saying, what crab in the barrel is, nobody likes people who are elevating, but when you are elevated, they say if they can't beat you, they have to join you. Well, whether they join you or not, what I will say to you is that the truth oftentimes is not that it will set you free, but what it certainly will do is to cause people to go into their miserable lives, sometimes life that is useless, and contemplate, and they will have to turn to the most powerful being, even when they don't believe in the most powerful being, which is God. And they will have to do self-reflection, because they will say to themselves when they sit in their hell because they do not know heaven, and say, God, oh God, why is it that certain people continue to thrive? Why is it that certain people, no matter how we talk down on them, continue to elevate? What is it that we are doing wrong, Almighty God?
Oh,
And,
my
and so I
colleague.
want people to appreciate where I am actually going with this conversation today. Now, some things we're going to talk about today. Hot topic, Parliament. For the last couple of weeks, Parliament has been very coronation market kind of thing. Parliament has it hasn't lost its way, because when you look at Parliament all across the world, there's a lot of disagreement. The opposition will oppose, and the government will think that they don't need opposition. The government will think that they are high and mighty, and the government, even if the truth is that they're not better than, they were given a mandate, and so they feel that they're more powerful, and they have zero regard for the people and the elected officials who are not a part of government. So let's start there. But I also want to talk about the fact that you could tell the truth and it is positive, and state media run by some careless people, some people that don't pay, that don't, anyway, let me not even descend into the arena. But people who the powers that be have secret for them, and some of them are some weak jellyback. Them are not man, them are some real skettle, some nasty people. They shape and try to paint you in a light, and then some of them, after them find themselves breaching disaster, no movement, they and lose them little work, and I try get back them life. Some of these people I'm telling you about will never make it to Parliament. They are the despicable kind who they are responsible for the decay in morality of our society. They are the people that don't want to see poor people have form a part of Jamaica. They are the people who talk down on the rest of Jamaica so they can feel better about themselves. They are the people who think that they are journalists when they're just, there's some of them, whatever they did to get their degrees, them have work now. They're compromised, they have no integrity, but they form a part of giving you the news. And I said to on a show yesterday while I was on Perry Cummings Jr., the perspective, that if you want to get the nastiness, the bad mind out, the careless tabloid type of um, conversation in the social media space, all you have to do is set the context and the dirty-minded people who form part of some media houses will pick up on it. And they think because they can, read the news in them little journalist tabloid um, voice, that make them think that them are smart. But I can tell you this: them struggle for pay them rent, them beg a money when them can. Them wish them could have go up on TikTok and tap up the screen and get the live shared. And them are struggle. They're struggling in life, so they are unhappy. And so every opportunity that they get, if they can speak about Nikisha Burchell, an independent, beautiful black woman who is a member of parliament representing Southeast St. James, they will do everything to tear her down. Especially the little dry up one them that read news on certain stations. You hear what I'm saying it? Put it in context. Bad mind is active. And when you come out and you defend the honor of all females in the political arena. If you know the history about women in parliament, women in power, if you knew the glass ceilings that the Honorable Portia Simpson Miller shattered, a feat that Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris could not reach in a free and democratic society, you would appreciate the unease and embarrassment to see women in parliament, how they are bringing down each other. And context does matter. I'm going to walk you through it, and I'm going to show you as proof of what my complaint is. But we're going to start right there, because we must have a vision for what we want our country to look like. I don't care about no other country but the Jamaica that I live in. I'm incapable of caring for any other country but Jamaica land we love. And that's what we put Jamaica first. The people of Jamaica is who we put first. So they tell you choose Jamaica, but I'm saying to you, choose Jamaican people and choose. Let me just start my show, y'all.
Right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. No, I heard them say life much better you live it your own way.
Let's see if this is at all possible right now. It probably isn't, but we're gonna get there. All right.
Go ahead now, my dear friend from Portland Eastern.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I too am compelled to make a contribution in relation to the standing orders. There has been many things said by members who have participated, but I just wish to say that there are young people who are watching. There are young people who will find their place and a sense of identity from this very room. There are young members in this parliament that have brought a new dynamic to the parliament in a positive light. I will only say to my colleagues on both sides that, when it comes to mentorship, when it comes to doing the right thing, when it comes to a sense of integrity, which is doing the right thing when nobody is watching. The political pageantry is preventing us from advancing the business of Jamaica. Yes, in relation to when race, culture, gender, all of these things are significant because we are reflections of out of many one. I have raised in private that there is serious dislike for how women are treated in this parliament, including from the elder to the younger. If we bring race into it, if we bring politics, all of this is something that is detracting from the best contributions that can come from each and every one of us. The standing orders, nonetheless, is something, even as it is being amended, revamped, reviewed, with a view to improve the parliament, I'm inviting all members to take time to actually look what is inside the standing orders. This is an indictment on the entire parliament to which I am a part of. It makes us, when young people stop me and say, MP, what is going on? Why are you trying to tell us that we are to respect ourselves when there's no respect? And it's individually and it is collectively. I am only urging members, because this is not to single out any one member or to differentiate from the speaker. We all got a mandate to be here. The respect that is to come from all of us is one where we appreciate that as we make our contributions, sometimes if we listen, we're saying the same things. Sometimes if we take a minute to look what is inside the standing orders, maybe we wouldn't be so quick to oppose. Maybe we wouldn't be so quick to think that we have to participate and say something. And it can be most embarrassing when at the end of it, there is something that is called internal locus of control and external locus of control. We are individuals, and I can say this, I would never disrespect anybody in this house to say nobody have sense. I don't believe that. And because we have contributions to make in our own expertise, maybe if we sometimes wait until it reaches what we know, Damien is not here, but when math is on the floor, I sit. That type of exchange advances the country. There is a new dynamic where I think that emotions is ruling this parliament. And collectively, until it changes, we are the king's parliament. Collectively, both sides, opposition, government. And I will only say that the disrespect, whether it's on mic, off mic, it's heard in spaces, and it is most embarrassing. If we do a reset following the review of the standing orders, the hope is that the country's business can be done, and a lot of the time that is wasted, much ado about nothing, is something that maybe I will hear, Madam Speaker, can we suspend idleness and get on with the government's business? And that is my humble contribution. Thank you.
House Leader.
It is certainly a matter for those who have ears, let them hear. So in Parliament, there is this constant um, disrespect towards members of the opposition. It's been going, certainly, I've been in Parliament for the 9, 10 months now, 9 months. And if you hear some of the things that said off mic, you would get a sense or understanding of the level of oppression that takes place. Um, but I also know that, you know, the culture of the political culture causes us to miss the fact that we are all a part of the His Majesty's Parliament, both opposition included, with government and cabinet. So the ministers take an approach that they're so superior to those who doesn't form a part of the cabinet, including, you will get this easy. And if you look at some of the exchanges sometime, you probably do have to shake your head and say, boy, it never did have to go on. So because the reality is, you see, we have come to a place where people afraid for talk, because if you talk too much, your allocations cut short. Members of parliament will get $2 million allocated, 63 constituencies, and 62 of them get $2 million for water. And because somebody feels you chat too much and they don't like you, they give your constituency $1.5 million in water allocation. And remember, guys, I don't like to bathe. So if you're not giving me water, you're not hurt me, because I don't use water. Me not bathe, remember. But people don't like when you speak up and defend the people of your constituents. So they punish the people of your constituency, because you speak up for them. So you get your letter and they say to you, here is the water allocation for members of parliament. And 63 constituencies and 62 of them get a water allocation, a minimum of $2 million for drought mitigation for the coming summer. And then you open your letter and you get 1.5 million. You're shortened. Same thing for roads. Same thing, post Melissa, every constituency got fish wire, and I didn't. And the fishermen and fisher folk in my constituency had to suffer because you speak the truth. And so from the get-go, the unequal treatment, I don't even know. I can't call it abuse. Sometimes I don't even know what to call it. But I will say certainly that people obviously have decided that how you conduct yourself in parliament is going to be the deciding factor of whether the people who send you there will perish. But remember, I'm the least among them. So I enter that parliament with people saying, I think I remember, I think it was Cliff Hughes that said Mark Golding was despicable because he had allowed a twice convicted drug dealer, drug smuggler, and he was, in him spoken voice, and him never ram for diss me to say, how could Mark Golding let somebody despicable like myself enter the parliament? There goes the parliament. It's the same people who every day you see Integrity Commission sending the reports of the investigations and recommendations to charge people. And those who are labor rights, this has nothing to do with the presumption of innocence, and it has nothing to do with criminality. It has nothing to do with all of that. But they defend allegations of corruption to the core. to the core, and they would want the Integrity Commission dismantled in the name of protecting their friends. Nepotism, is a level of nastiness that shameful is not the word to describe it. And if you look in the books and you look who own what radio station and who do what, you get an understanding of how the narratives are pushed. But I'm not here for that. I'm here to say that His Majesty's Parliament, and I'm not being rude, but very few people have had the opportunity to go to His Majesty's Privy Council and speak to the white folks who are superior in law and English language, and a certain decorum and etiquette is required to appear before the real people who have a sense of democracy, who are the authors of governance and adjudication. It's almost like, if you don't get the right training, what are you really doing? So there's a sense of professionalism that don't deal with friending. There's a certain courtesy that is afforded to people just by nature of being a professional. They're at basic human decency and respect is afforded to all members of parliament. There are only 63 members of parliament who form part of the elite class, and 21 senators who were friend-picked, hand-picked. Because oftentimes, if they had put themselves up for public office and had to be voted in, then couldn't even get 5 votes unless, so them stay in the Senate and wait for a safe seat. Because there are seats that are safe. And so you could be a donkey and still win that seat. You would have no effort. You don't even require to have love for the people. You have to walk hills and valleys and understand the lived human experience. And no, I am not being disrespectful. This is a conversation about telling the truth. Right? And it cannot be that the value of our people is boxes of KFC and $5,000. And then we get the right to disrespect our colleagues, to say that because you are not in government, you are nobody. So, because I'm not from that school of thought, I have the greatest respect for all my colleagues, even the ones that don't respect me. And I say, forgive them, Father, because they know not what they do. If Jesus' colleagues could put him on the cross, who am I to not be crucified by my own on any given day? I'm just sharing that so people can understand. Zambo, big up for the money guns, Until family, nothing like family, because everybody else is just watching. But anyway, so having said that, this week in Parliament, and I'm giving you context, the Integrity Commission has tabled or has submitted, they have submitted their yearly report. And again this year, remember before election, there was the illicit 8, 9, 10, 11. A whole slew of members of parliament who are being investigated for illicit enrichment. People who are not a part of the generational wealth class. People who can't say, my grandfather had a bus company and, my mother had a bus company and my father People who can't say those things. People who are not from third generation, second generation, wealth. People who have no family history of access to money. Let me put it that way. People who don't even have professions, people who are not lawyers and doctors and accountants and a part of the professional class who just became politicians and is now richer than even Donald Trump. And Joan asked me if I'm one. Poor you, Joan, poor you, poor you. I would say to you, Joan, try going to law school and get back to me. All right? But the important thing is we must face our fire. I have my thoughts on what the Constitution says about the presumption of innocence. I have my thoughts on politicizing this whole integrity commission thing. But I also have my thoughts on finding yourself as the subject of an investigation. So this will be put there because, you know, when people set out to tarnish your name and your reputation, it will come in many forms. It will come by twisting your words. It will come by twisting your finances. It will come by all kind of things. I am not here to defend I'm not here to defend anything. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Whatever is in place, the law is there, the constitutional works in reference to Andrew Wheatley. His report was tabled and he went and got his injunction and his legal thing, whatever it is, and people have to wait and justice takes its course. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the due process. I believe in the presumption of innocence. That has nothing to do with the moral fabric. In 2023, I quoted Cartel's song, the church, the state, every Jamaican said Isaac should die, he should be put to death, he shouldn't be a lawyer, he shouldn't lecture at the university, he shouldn't be allowed to go to the Privy Council. How dare him? And he should pay $500,000 for quoting a cartel and disrespecting the former DPP. And the Honorable Bobsy Grange wrote a damning press release about what leadership is to be and when you should step away and when you embarrass your leader, your party leader, and all of these things, that the framework about a good leader knowing when to step aside, and questions as to whether the minister, Andrew Wheatley, is to step aside, not for criminality, but for upholding the office, the morality aspect of it. Should a leader put his superior leader, the prime minister, in a position to tell him to resign? Was it fair to a Mark Golding to have to call me to say you should resign from the head as the head of the human rights chair for making remarks that everybody is upset about because you are a Rasta man that nobody don't like, and you is a just come? Yeah. And I resigned, and public outcry, and whether other persons. And when Marissa Dalrymple was faced with the Mercedes Benz or the BMW debacle, not only did she resign as Speaker of the House, she said, I don't like this drama and how people dragging my name. And she resigned as Member of Parliament. And the people gave her back her mandate, and she is now a Member of Parliament and a State Minister. Did she do the right thing? The answer is yes. Does it advance the country, however, when people are allowed to set out to tarnish your reputation and it interrupts your ability to do what you're doing? Those are questions for people to ask when finding out where the truth lie. But what I will say though is not so much about where the truth lie, but I'm surprised at how so many people decided that they would single out the member from Southeast St. James. And I will only say, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? And every mirror that you go to will say, right now, Nikisha Burchell. And her crime is not breaches of the integrity commission or whatever. It's not corruption. It's freedom of expression. It's identity, vigor, ambition, advocacy that could possibly be a problem. But I've seen other members of parliament be defiant. I don't think there is any secret that as it is right now, the People's National Party, to which I am a member and a representative of Portland Eastern, there as an opposition member of parliament, has stated even before I became a member of parliament, certainly last year, that they did not approve of the Speaker of the House. I can recall that being so. And I raised that for an obvious reason. The Speaker of the House is a member of the Jamaica Labour Party. If we have conversation about bias, implicit bias would be the order of the day. No matter who you are, no matter how you try to be unbiased and balanced, your actions will oftentimes show that you give deference to your party. For instance, I watched in the sectoral debates, ministers and government, when they do their contribution, they get about 1 hour to speak, 45 minutes and an additional 15 minutes. And the older members, they talk and they talk and they talk and they read and they read and they read and the time run out. I think the worst of all was the tourism minister. I don't think him even did reach where he's supposed to reach, but him excited about all that him do. And it is, in my mind, when you are contributing and the contribution is constructive. So before anybody think I'm criticizing Mr. Ballhead, Ed Bartlett, Minister of Tourism, man, excited about the whole of work where him do and him travels and all of the things him doing and him sous chef and him everything and him St. Elizabeth, South Beach and all of the things them that him doing. And him talk and him talk and him talk and him time is up. And the Speaker of the House was like, your time is up. And him say, and my final point, and him have a 10-point plan. And after the hour, him don't even reach part 2 of the 10-point plan. And after him time up, him a go through it. And, with the greatest of respect and deference, the Speaker had to say, yo, your time really up. And he went on and on and on, probably an additional half an hour. But before that, when members of the opposition was finished, the mics were turned off, you didn't get another minute, you didn't get another 2. Me did get my extra minutes, but I was talking real fast. So maybe that's different. And then people curse me because I like the Speaker of the House, and everybody say you shouldn't like the Speaker of the House because I'm not an independent thinker. I like everybody. Just like how I don't like Bade, I can like the Speaker of the House. Just like how I think Nationwide is the best um, news network in the entire world. That's what I think. And I think that I get a lot of press, especially when they got a news reporter to report that I don't like Bade. Because I think the most pressing thing that's happening in Jamaica right now is the fact that I don't like to Bade. Because TCN's coming to Jamaica could never be breaking news more than ISAT not liking to Bade. And if you think that is bad, today, July 2nd, the Integrity Commission drop off 4 reports of persons being investigated and possibly recommended for corruption. But no, Nationwide had to make it clear that news coming out of Portland Eastern, where the water minister only gave $1.5 million toward drought mitigation when all the other MPs got $2 million, is that ISAT don't like to bid. And proof ISAT don't like to bid is that the water minister took make sure say him never give him $500,000 because him know say him me not gonna use $500,000 worth of water for bid. So breaking news, Jamaica, ISAT don't like to bid. And I want people to know that that's the level of journalism that comes out in Jamaica at this time. So we experienced a kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya in Parliament. Because you see, it must be difficult to be on the government side when members are being investigated for illicit enrichment. It has to be embarrassing when you're an upstanding citizen and an upstanding member of parliament and your colleagues are some thief and your colleagues are being accused of corruption. No. It's just people saying it's impossible that I don't like to bathe because I love to swim. I assure you, it is Zambo who you see in the pool and not me. I've never, ever had made contact with water in my life. Okay? But anyway, let's get back to it. And it has to be that, remember, we are individuals, but when it comes to politics and governance, though we are independent thinkers, the values and the morals and the ideologies of the party, for me, I am a socialist. Me believes that every Jamaican from your born here, you must own a piece of the rock before you're dead. If me was in the land title department, me would be cutting up land and calling people and say, see a piece of land here. All if it there, up a junction when you go through in a Chris Brown and Juliet Cuthbert, the road they went on the Spark program where the worst road in a Jamaica where everybody use. I'd make sure say if a even piece of the hill that you get it. Every Jamaican. Because me believe say you have to take care of your people. And because of that, it has to be embarrassing when you are a part of a capitalist government and you are doing your best and the person sitting next to you is embarrassing the entire government. Doesn't have to be true, but just the fact that you would put yourself in that situation. So oftentimes, people call you and you have to just make it absolutely clear where your morals and values are, because it is the appearance of impropriety that makes things absolutely devastating for persons. I will just say that. But the kumbaya moment, let me get to it so I'm not distracted, is that the opposition leader of government business, Philip Paulwell, stood up to make an inquiry about the tabling of the Integrity Commission report. Me's a part of the new breed of parliament, the new breed of MP, um, whatever that means. And I will say, me just watch what go on. But I know that when the mic was turned off and he refused to speak and he refused to sit, and the standing orders were going around and they were looking which standing orders was the correct standing order and whether that was the procedure. And we make it up as we go, and the interpretations vary. The only thing I will say at the end of the day is that the speaker's ruling, whether it's right or wrong, is kind of final, and then you just have to appeal off camera. So you get a sense of how performative um, Parliament is, and those who have eyes, let them see; those who have ears, let them hear. And you see the other ones running up and down, and the leader of government business, the minister Floyd Green, him in I'm standing order, and Nesta in I'm standing order, and the learned Malahu Fort was not really present. So, some guidance couldn't have been sought from there. But the Chucky was there, but is a Chucky no lucky, so I'm not really in all of that. But at the end of the day, it's the level of disrespect that caused the opposition to feel like they were being censored and muted. And it's not just a feeling, it is a reality, it is a fact. To be disregarded and ignored is the worst feeling ever. And let me tell you, there one time, I don't know, it's kind of different now, but one time in a halfway tree, when you go tasties, you pay, and the cashier give you the ticket, and then you have to go at the counter and stretch your hand. And the people them that was more buttu than you, them just bounce you down and stretch over them hand. And sometimes when them stretch them hand, if you ever know about green arm, Jesus. Anyway, and you would have to rush, and you pay for get your patina, you have to fight like Color Purple. All my lives I've had to fight, and I ain't gonna fight no more. That kind of Color Purple, Oprah Winfrey, just to get your patty. Used to be like that in tax office too, and then the number system came in. And that's what it felt like in Parliament, where you're trying to speak and they turn off your mic. But the reality is that the mic system needs to change. And I'm so happy that Nara is here, because when the new Parliament building is finished and the mic system comes in, and I hope that the voice, when the automated voice, is the voice of Nikisha Burchell. When it says, member from Portland Eastern, you are number 5 in the queue. Yeah, that kind of thing there. But anyway, it is so we have a technology deficiency, and it causes a lot of disagreement. And then people, it cannot be ignored. And so, of course, if I'm very unbiased, it's not fair for me to say that because I don't experience that with the Speaker of the House, that it's not happening. I've learned never to minimize the lived human experience. If persons feel that they're being picked on, if persons feel they're being attacked, believe them until you have evidence otherwise to disprove the experience, what they're experiencing. Um, I really have to say that. I think I need to turn this. Yeah. And so it has to be seen, because there were times when the leader of opposition was speaking, his mic was cut off, and he walked out of parliament. We ask for a divide, we don't get the divide. We ask to be heard, and we're not heard. And I'm saying we, because if I ask to be heard, I'm heard. Um, and because of that, this is not about picking sides. This is about a systematic breakdown when it is convenient to do so. So my contribution, which I did share earlier, was about basic human decency, about telling the truth, about saying that this conversation I'm having is not about the Speaker of the House. This conversation is about governance. This conversation is about the disrespect and disregard by those who sit on the government side and how they feel about people, opposition. Because they have the fashion police. Warmington will tell you can't come in a parliament with a jacket, and that tie is wrong and you're breaching the standing orders. But people on his side come in and don't even wear socks, and they make excuses for that. And not to mention the bullyism and the disrespect. It's just because I always know, because from I did small, the avenue that I live on is always the mongrel dog bark the loudest. And see you, me know, so them can't, them, if you really, really take it to them can't manage it. I just leave them alone. So I do make nobody who have to use words and ad hominem attacks to try to dim my spirit. Those who sit in parliament are incapable of dimming my spirit, let alone the court of public opinion. Because if anybody knows coming into the election, the things that were said by the court of public opinion on social media, one still are doing forensic studies as to how I am the member of parliament for Portland Eastern. But I maintain, because the citizens that live in Portland are intelligent and their aptitude is above the rest of Jamaica, I am not surprised. Because the truth and the lived human experience is what separates reality from PR and low aptitude. I'm saying that, and I'm not saying the rest of Jamaica don't have sense. I'm saying that when people trick you and bamboozle you and are capable of doing it every time, I always say to black people in Jamaica, wake up and rise up. Don't be taken for granted. Don't be taken for a ride, because the future of the next generation is in your hands. How you vote is going to be the is going to determine whether or not your sons and daughters will ever reach the best versions of themselves. I'm going to have a conversation about what's happening now in correcting the child diversion legislation. I'm going to talk about discourtesy while doing the government's business. And I'm also going to talk about context and how easy it is for people to villainize you because you're trying to educate the public. And then even today, what's going on in the social media space, you have persons on X and on in social media and even TikTok cutting up videos and cutting up words to paint you in a light that is not so. A part of public education is to get people to understand where we are and where we ought to be. a part of public education is for people to rise to the level of decorum, of understanding the history of the struggles of people. You know, there was a time that somebody with my big nose, my dreadlocks here, and my copper color skin, the only other person go through what me go through is Jesus. Yeah, they no want they will accept your contribution, but don't want you in the spaces. They will say do the research, but we will do the talking. They will say tell us your ideas, but you can't get it. It's the story of the black man from day one. And so now we're in spaces where women are in parliament, and we're at the top of the hour, but I want to talk about this and why it is important to get a sense of the disenfranchisement of women when women squabble in parliament. And if you recognize the context, you won't follow the miscreants who try to create a narrative that isn't so and think you can't school me. And I'm very proud to throw it in people's face. If you were not in law school with me, you can't school me. And if you could not get a LLB from the University of the West Indies, let alone pass the bar at Manley Law School, I'm not even sure if your brain works. But we'll talk at the top of the hour.
Right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. No, I heard them say life much better you live it your own way. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. No, I heard them say life much better you live it your own way.
Right, so I'm standing in the Fair Hill Division, in particular Commodore, right by Fair Prospect Primary School. And this is just a follow-up video because there were several videos circulating about this particular roadway, and I'm not seeing the follow-up video, but just to update that the road is patched, and as the work continues, allow the authorities to do their job so that the community is safer for you. Big up yourself. Same thing every time you play something.
right. It's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right. It's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. No, I heard them say life much better you live it your own way. That's right. It's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right. It's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. No, I heard them say life much better you live it your own way.
Yeah, so we are back. And before I even start over my TikTok has this new thing now where they restrict your gifting for reproduced content. So when they hear me talking, they're not even seeing it, but they're saying it's reproduced. So these things are auto generated and very interesting. But anyway, um, neither here nor there. TikTok is an idle space. Um, yeah, it's a space of where carelessness festers. So we won't worry about that too much. But what welcome back to Context Matters. The time is now 5:06. So if you're joining me from Best FM 100, you should be traffic not supposed to be so bad now because school lock. So Jamaica is a lot more mover mover friendly and user friendly because school kind of not in session. If you're joining me from Reggae Global Radio, the time is 6:06. And if you're joining me from YouTube and TikTok, big up on yourself. I'm gonna only say tap up the screen and share the live. You can't send me any gifts because it's restricted because they don't like to hear my voice. Anyway, what I want to talk about is this whole idea of courtesy. If you if your leaders are discourteous to each other, don't expect courtesy in the rest of society. If your leaders are disrespectful to each other, don't expect society to have respect for each other. A lot of the future of Jamaica is guided by what people see. So you see, if your leaders are thief, just best believe say you're in a thief in society. If your leaders is corrupt, you have no possibility of ever reaching first world status. You see, if your leader them wicked, wickedness now go done in the society. It's almost like saying if your leader them a murderer, murder go high in a society. If constitutional rights are breached, it means that there's no regard for human dignity. There's no regard for your constitutional rights, privacy. The United States Supreme Court made its ruling that for the police must get a court order to go into your phone. America do it now. Jamaica been did have it, But I'm just making you know that the United States Supreme Court say police can't do it. So although our courts already said it, maybe because the white people in the United States have now said it, maybe the police here in Jamaica will understand it now and don't do it because anything the United States say we do, that we do. That's why we're having a TCN drama happening in Jamaica. And again, they single out individuals in parliament to take the fall for government decisions, and people have to be defending themselves about matters that simply should have been disclosed to the people of Jamaica so we could work it out. Because if America decides that it's one bag of rice each citizen of Jamaica is to get, the government is simply going to come out and say it's one bag of rice each Jamaican is to get. We can't do nothing about it. We're a weak jellyback nation with leaders who can't speak up for you. Otherwise, serious implications will happen and the citizens will suffer greatly. We have to have conversations about how to rise up against the realities that we live in. If I am wrong, then certainly, if we have a choice, I know for sure this government wouldn't accept TCN if they had a choice. But the things we do have a choice over is the treatment of each other. Let's start with race. Jamaica is a society that has out of many one. We're starting right there. This out of many one and many societies, Trinidad, all of them have the same thing. And them over there in Trinidad, them really out of many one because let me tell you, when you go over there, the Indian people, them enough over there. And then they like the black people, them. And so them say, because every Indian woman wants a black man. But then that's everywhere in the world. As a black man, every woman wants a black man. But outside of the physicality, there's a lot more to think about. And that's really where I'm going. We still have colorism in this country. The brown people, them live better life than the black people them in this country. And the black people, them when them have money, them lick you with a butu in the bend, with a Benz is still a butu. Discrimination because of hair. Them see and them do like dreadlocks. If your nose too big is a problem. Just ask Andrew, the Prime Minister. One thing about the two of us, we always get teased about with big nose. But then double that up, being a black woman, being intelligent, and being a member of parliament. Let's look at Portia Simpson Miller and how nobody had a problem when they were calling her dunce, when they were disrespecting her, when the media machinery would say she can't read and write when she could, when the media would not accept that she had elevated herself and educated herself, and invite people who can read and write to go and learn how to read and write, to invite people who have not yet gone through tertiary education to understand that no matter your age, it is almost like a rite of passage to go and complete that. To not feel embarrassed if you aren't proficient in English, but to take the opportunity to learn it. To make advancements so that when you represent, young people will have somebody to look to, images of themselves and say, I can be here. So what people cannot take from Isaac Buchanan is that there are many young people that see me and know that if sky was the limit, Parliament is not sky. ISAT is there. They too can get here and have readjusted their realities to have the ambition to get there. That I say, my friends, is significant. That I will say to you is an important feat. I will go back and say, in light of that, it is not the squabble in Parliament that I focus on. It is the repercussions of the squabble, the repercussions of attacking individuals. And when you find who the individuals are, the class of people who are attacked, and the many struggles for them to get there. So there was a time when women were made up for a very small number in the house. When you looked into parliament, you could count on your hand how much women. And in 2026, the cohort of women are many. Women who ran against men and beat them and are in the parliament. And it's very progressive to look across the aisle in front of you and see the women sitting in parliament representing with the maternal instincts gifted to them by nature of being a woman. And to see them being disrespectful to each other, having girl fight, that's what it comes down to, being reduced to the girl fight, and people, whether they're amused about it or not, is left to almost set the woman's movement back into the feminist age, to get in spaces that they were, right? It's not laughable, it is actually embarrassing. So when you have the conversation and you're saying, what exactly is it that is happening, or why will we allow? And I can tell you, a lot of the men that you see out there bashing Nikisha Burchell, they're not like woman. I can tell you that. Yeah. When you hear how they talk, they have a sense of. Anyway, let me leave that alone. Those who have eyes they can see, and those who have ears they can hear. Because them always say, "Doppy no who for frightened." And then you have those who say, I should have me. But we'll leave that alone. I want to share with you, though, two particular instances, and we'll talk about it. Do you really think it's just girl fight? Cat fight, girl fight? I'm not, it is not me who is forming the narrative. I'm telling you what it is reduced to. So let me put it in context, then we talk about it. About Nikisha Burchell. Never, and I'm rejecting that. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Right now, make the mirror answer that. But those who have eyes, they can see. And me can tell you, when me bathe and put on my clothes, come I don't like bathe. Me as a man, as a Rasta man, I don't like bathe. You see what I said? But it's when me bathe and put on my clothes and my expensive cologne and put on a shoes, and me step up in the place, yeah, Parliament can't stall. That me I gonna tell you. And so when me nice and clean, I'm step up as a statesman. I'm not gonna make nobody draw me out. I will never do that. And I will never sit there and allow them to disrespect my colleagues and not get up and respond as the statesman I know I am. We are not children. You cannot bully me. You cannot bully my colleagues either. Did I like knocking the desk? No, because when I used to watch Parliament, the people who were knocking desks were idiots. Yeah. So while we find ways to protest injustice, it must be done at a time where he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. What that means is we must all know the standing orders. And I quote it every time I speak. I remind the Speaker of the House to protect me from my colleagues on the other side and to have them respect standing orders 40. to be in silence and listen because they can learn something. Because I don't get, me not idle. They can't, the people in Parliament could never pay me enough to advocate. So true, the people of Portland send me there while I get up on my feet and I do what I have to do. Because you have instant anywhere I say, you're going to sit down there and make them talk to the people themselves. If me not get up, then we throw them baggy over my head and beat me out of Portland. And the police down in Portland can't protect me because I'm afraid of them. Because that's the love we have down in Portland. So I know who I am a servant of. And I see the people in here speaking about the Speaker of the House. I have no need to disrespect the Speaker of the House. She's never disrespected me. Doesn't mean it is a basis to accept disrespect from when my colleagues are being disrespected, that I'm going to condone it. If you ever interview the Speaker of the House, she will tell you there are many times that I get up from my chair and I go to the sidebar. Myself and Omar Newell, who do it often, I read the standing orders. I'm a part of the standing orders committee and I interpret it. I look at standing orders all across the Commonwealth. I focus on Australia, Canada. I focus on the UK and New Zealand. I look. Currently, the Bahamas Speaker of the House. She reminds me of Rosalie, but that's another conversation. But I have great respect for her because she handles our house. I look at the culture of Parliament. I look at what is going on. And I simply say that the People's National Party will not be bridled or muzzled because we're not animals. We're not donkeys and we're not less than anybody there. None of them people putting me up and make me live somewhere. And me know for sure my name not calling and no report. But I'm going to leave that one alone because I'm a statesman. And so the things that we are supposed to worry about in this country, we allow fallacies in logic to take over. Smoke screens, ad hominem. Let us attack Nikisha while the government business is being stalled. Let us bridle members of Parliament while we treat issues for governance like a racehorse track. Big up Deeper Jamaica TV, One Perspective, with a big up on yourself. Ishtonia never invite me on him show yet, Perry. I just to make you know that. Never, not one time. But anyway, so having said that, and I'm passionate about it. Because, like I said, if you want to, and I tell the members all the time, if you want to be a skeptic, right? So you would have heard that that context about courtesy to members, and when you're a part of a political body. In this case, the opposition to which I'm a part of. If you diss one, you diss all of us. You can't pick out like we are, they say birds of a feather flock together, but you can't pick us out like it's one bird and you're pluck chicken and I take the feathers off. So you can't take one of my colleagues and pluck them as a feather and I say, well, it's not me. And my ancestors were not house slaves, so you can't pat me on the back and say I'm a good slave, and therefore because I'm a good slave, all is well in the land because I am not misbehaving. We can have conversations. We can have conversations about remembering where you are, remembering that we are doing the country's business. Government is doing the work of the people. We are servants of the people. So when we are in the parliament and all decisions that are made in the parliament are being made supposed to be for the benefit of the people. And so when questions are being asked, when matters are being raised and contributions are being made, it's for the people. I certainly not sitting in parliament because I'm idle. I'm sitting there because the people of Portland Eastern send me there. That's the work that them send me to go and do. And no, it's not what people think. The other day I saw a comrade, there was a Paula Marie Chambers, make 2 videos cursing about a pothole when water commission is fixing a pipe that was leaking under the road, and the whole road would have collapsed if they had not um if they had not dig up the road. And it was in Commodore, and she made 2 very disparaging videos and said some horrible things. But we made the calls, and in keeping with the timeline, the road was fixed. But they don't call and ask what's going on with the road. And people will make noise and be disrespectful about it. And they think that they have achieved something when they come with disrespect. And in modern society, there's a lot of things that can be achieved with just basic respect, basic courtesies. And even when it comes to the standing orders, one of the things with the standing orders is it can be suspended at the whim of and discretion of the speaker. So if a member wants something done and the member basically says, this is what I want done, and whether they do it or not, guess what? It's at the discretion of the speaker. So if I wanted to say something and I'm late, the speaker has the discretion to allow me to do it nonetheless. Even if the government gonna vex and she says I'm minded to hear Miss Member from Portland Eastern. And when that happens, that's how it is. But it all is going to be dependent on the relationship that you have with the speaker. Do I think that the speaker has agreement with everybody? The answer to that is no. It is public knowledge the people who don't get along with the speaker. It's public knowledge how the opposition is treated. It's public knowledge that it stifles government business. And it's something that, as we review the standing orders, we will get a sense of how to improve the relationship. We'll get a sense of whether or not the government is prepared to respect the opposition, including, if nobody else, the leader of opposition. I am prepared to say that if nobody else is respected, the prime minister and the leader of opposition is to be given the greatest amount of respect because they appear in the Constitution. They are creatures of the Constitution, above and beyond anybody else, the office that they hold. And so to see my leader, Mark Jefferson Golden, being disrespected, Mike being turned off, absolutely unacceptable, repugnant, in breach of the Constitution, not recognizing the office, unacceptable. I think equally, the office of the Speaker of the House is to be respected. And therefore, the Speaker of the House must respect herself and command the respect that she deserves. And we are to have these conversations because As long as you're going to disrespect the leader of opposition, you're going to have a whole faction of Jamaica that's going to dislike you. As long as there's discourtesy to one member of the opposition, there's discourtesy to all. So make no mistake. I don't think, if you want to know disrespectful, check Mr. Warmington. I don't even know which him is member of one St. Catherine seat. Old Harbour. I don't know. Something. Most disrespectful. And everybody just chalk it up to him being that. You want to hear disrespectful? I'm kind of so used to Desmond McKenzie. He doesn't even offend me because I saw him stay. But you see, men get that. Them get that. Seniority get you that too. But as a man, yeah, I saw him stay. Watch him, man. Them man, they all and on them way out. So I know nothing. So them will see and them will say, boy, sit down and shut up. Shut up before I kick off your face, boy. You chat to foolishness, you chat. Where you get up for? And that Portland send you for, boy. Rasta boy. Bueno. Yeah, that's how they talk to you. And you stand there. You keep your head high. Keep your chin up. And you just execute. And you show them that you're educated. You show them that you graduated from a tertiary institution with first-class honors, an achievement they did not have. Yes, man. You see them say I'm lying. There was a time I was making a contribution and Warmington said, shut up, boy. You're not a lawyer. You shouldn't be in here. You're a two-time convict, boy. Come out of the parliament. Nobody came to my defense. But you say, I don't need nobody to come to my defense. I remember who sent me to parliament, and I remember why I'm there. And I also remember that I'm an educated black man. And I also remembered what courtesies are given to you when you are educated and respected. I have received respect in the highest court of the land and respect from the CCJ. So when I'm disrespected by riffraff in the Jamaican space, it is of no moment. I promise you that. And I'm not talking down. And it's the standard. It's actually the standard, because if you know what respect is, yeah, Lord Reed said, Mr. Buchanan. And then I hear my name pronounced properly. How could I feel disrespected by people who have no sense? Plato's cave. They only know shadows of shadows on the wall. They don't know what happens in the real world. They cower when they go in the presence of white greatness. Performative power. They don't understand the patriarchal scale, and they don't understand diplomacy in its real sense. So I'm not speaking from a place where I don't experience the discrimination and the disrespect, because it happens all the time. And so what I will say is that all the women, I saw it happen to Heather Miller, I saw it happen to Perkis, I saw it happen to Zolika. It's not just Nikisha. When they are speaking, both women and the men on the other side, they heckle, they're loud, no respect, no protection. Yeah? I'm going to tell you, you see, if you rise up and give them the TikTok, and you tear out your eye, and you say, yo, I'm tell you something. Meet me outside. How about that? About 3-4 CPO you see them draw for. Yeah? Because some of them, them know who they have strength for. But I'm going to leave that one alone because I don't want this to be breaking news. Member of Parliament who don't like to bathe, say so and so. I see Keisha giving me the Google eyes. But it just goes to show that the way how they exert power is very selective. I will put it that way. I also look at that reality and just basically know that for the most part you can't allow persons to disrespect you. And if you respect yourself, you don't have to go down to their level. And no, this is not the mantra when they go low, you go high. Because I'll be the first to tell you, if you go low, I can meet you there, Because me are the limbo champion. But it's not that. If somebody is not going low, if somebody is low in the first place, they don't know what high is. I'm not coming off of my pedestal and descend into the arena of filth because there are persons who don't know better. Right? I'm not going to do that. And I maintain and I tell them, even while you are disrespecting, you're missing the opportunity to learn something, because I come with a wealth of education, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in my field. And I don't propose to speak on matters I know nothing about. One of my weakest areas is math. I joke about it, but I can't size up to Damian Crawford in his ability to crunch his numbers in real time. But I bet you say him can't size up with me with law. And that's okay, because one team, one dream, one vision, collectively, to make the Jamaica a better place for Jamaicans. Yeah. And temper tantrums is not okay. And you see, a lot of times when people are rebelling, when people are seeking justice, when people want to be heard, civil unrest and disobedience is the order of the day. And somebody said, can the speaker be impeached? I don't think the speaker of the house need to be impeached. I think we need to lock off PBS or PBC or whatever them call themselves, the TV station and the YouTube. And as grown people, sit down and ventilate our issues. I don't think that it is that difficult. And Dr. Dawes made it clear. He says, if you're leaving us to resort to civil unrest as the only recourse to fix a situation, boy, my brothers and sisters, the problem would never be those. When Jamaicans have to get up and put on yellow to go protest TCN, that is a cry to be heard. I respected all those persons who showed up in protest to be heard, because they're being ignored. Just hear me now. If everything that we need as Jamaicans is going to be, you must riot. If the road want fix, them expect you to riot. If you want water, you have to take it to the streets. If you want a better health system, you have to take it to the streets. Could it be that government isn't it clear that government is the problem? Isn't it clear that there's a complete disconnect from the people of Jamaica and governance? It cannot be that every single thing that has to happen in this country, it cannot be, is as a result of taking civil disobedience, riot, And before somebody says that, listen, if I were the Speaker of the House and so many people are mad and sad, I would take the time to speak to people individually and collectively. The amount of people that dislike me in this country, and the genesis of the dislike is just because they don't know me. For when they know you, it is a completely different thing. And you see, because my intellect isn't low, and I always have to take it there. When God bless you with the intelligence and the ability to process information, put things in context, critical thinking, you can give people the benefit of the doubt, You can exercise compassion and empathy and say, you see all the tough face one day, them face tough because goodly them want to take out them wisdom teeth. Because trust me, in Jamaica, you just last for a minute, especially upon a country road. You see a man in face bend up so. And you say, excuse me, how you get them? Say, yes, man. Just take the left and go down round this and come back round this. So Iron Man left a thing with me. They're not mad at you. They just ugly. Certainly if you don't know me and you see me walking in a halfway tree ahead to court. And you say, meanie, they not mean. The sun hot. Me don't like bathe. Of course I'm going to look angry. You see what I say? And I'm an ugly youth. But that don't mean girls all over the world don't want to, Yeah, but I'm an ugly youth. And I know that. So don't hate me for being ugly. Don't be mad at me because me not pretty. Me not cute. You see what I say? You can't be mad at me for that. But don't go and say you hate me. You just don't know me. Because if you took the time to know me, you would have a completely different understanding. Yeah? Like one of the biggest intimidation for weak men is not knowing how to deal with their indiscretions and their discomfort in being in the presence of a beautiful woman like Nikisha Burchell. Don't know how to act. It's kind of like when you're in prep school, the girl you like, you pull her hair, and if you have a scissors, you goodly cut it, or use crazy glue and glue her eye shut. That's the childish behavior, but we're grown people now. We have gone past that. And yeah, well, let me not make context matter done before me say it. Me not care who are vexed. I like the Speaker of the House. And I think that when our interactions are mean, if I diffuse it, it's because it's a woman with power. And of course, you're going to fight for your life when people are saying that you shouldn't be in the position that you're in. But I have a different approach of how I feel for Black people all over the world who exercise power, who represent for Blackness and gives other Black people somewhere to strive to, like a Mia Motley. No one can say anything wrong about a Mia Motley. And don't try size up a Mia Motley with a Kamala Trinidad. Yeah, you would get a sense of what the representation is, and that's how I feel about it, because my mother is a Black woman, and I know her struggles for being educated, the Reverend Dr. John Portius, and having 6 children and ensuring that they too were educated and nurturing them even when they misbehave, like this here Black sheep here, where she have. Yeah. Thank God I resurrected my life because she had so much high hopes of me. And I know what it is. So you can't, I don't ignore, I don't care what side you're on, all the black people, them, me love them. I'm happy for them representing. But that don't mean say because I'm happy for you that you must be unbearable and disrespectful and all of them something there. So there are conversations to be had. And people will vex with me. But as I said, this context matters is about the truth. So if you want to charge me and criminalize me for speaking the truth, then fine. But yeah, my heart weep. My heart weep for all of the bring down and the tear down of blackness. That is how I feel about it. Yes. So that being said, you don't have to share my point of view. And I understand because there was a time in this country as a young attorney I used to do media, and the older attorneys found it despicable that an attorney would be on media talking about law because the profession was so traditional. We dare not interact with the plebs. I'm minded to wonder if they were right interfacing with media personnels. But anyway, I turn on my TV from Monday to Sunday, and every time you turn on your TV is a lawyer saying something. So I'm proud of that. Even the Chief Justice, I get to see if him don't like something, him take it to the media and put out in press release and articulate himself well. Love it. So you will be ahead of your time. You will fun like I'm a dog, like I'm a dirty dog or a dirty drunko. My parents never raised me so. And at no time you'll say, hold on. Yes, I don't reach there yet. Yes. And so for those reasons, um, I try to find the balance. And that's what's expected. So I only invite mediation, I only invite proper communication, and I invite for the betterment, for the improvement of the parliament, for the betterment of Jamaica, that we find ways to mediate and have discussions outside of camera so that the next time we come on camera to be performative, we are like real British pompous statesmen. And if some of us can twang like when we see my brother Zamba and Rosalie, all of a sudden the accident come in and and they say, Madam, I say, oh, Madam Speaker, thank you so much for allowing me to now address the Parliament of Jamaica and His Majesty's Parliament. Let me first start by saying, as the Member of Parliament for Portland Eastern, all of the roads them are mash up. And I think the Minister of Road did not consider an allocation to make sure that the dirty roads in Portland are fixed. And all of the citizens of Portland keep telling me, dirty Rasta man, come and fix the roads. And I tried to tell them those holes are not my holes, those holes are Andrew's holes. But they're not listening to me, Madam Speaker. So if you would permit me, I also had a discussion with the Minister of Water who short me 500,000 Jamaican dollars. I can't do the math to know what it is in pounds, but certainly that allocation would go a far way in ensuring that I took a shower. As a goodly, worldly British man, it is all know that we don't like to bathe, we only wipe up. And with the right deodorant, I'm sure no one would smell my green arm, for certainly I'm not a labourite. So when I say shower, and I don't like to shower, one would know what I mean. But you on that side certainly know, because you're all green over there. Can I get a knock on the desk? Oh, my bad. We remove those persons from Parliament. And then everybody would say, oh my God, Parliament nice. The whole of them in there speak English. Kiss my neck back. See, they them pass a law and say the whole of we for dead. But them say it's so nice. Yes, Madam Speaker. And I would move a private motion that extrajudicial killing should continue. For certainly, we are the most peaceful society in the Caribbean. And for those reasons, the Minister of Security, I heard him say, that if we get the murder rate down to about 600, we certainly will be first in the world. That being said, the JCF should up their extrajudicial killings so we could get it down to 100. So performatively, we certainly could say, do you agree with me, Madam Speaker? For if you don't, I shall look in the standing orders to see what is it that you are violating, because it is you that is rude. And then she'd say, Member Buchanan. And I said, certainly, Madam Speaker, you pronounce my name properly. You get it? So we need to up with British accent so Parliament can be a little bit more sexier. So we move away from the market behavior and come back to His Majesty's Parliament. Me ready for the twanging. Me fully ready for the twanging. Next time I touch a mic in a Parliament, I bet you, Madam Speaker, lock off my mic and run me up, because I'm going to say, Madam Speaker, I'm so happy to be here in the new Parliament, having had discussions with my colleagues. This is the way forward, for certainly Jamaica would be very proud. After all, we are keeping the mace. All right, then. So anyway, second context, because the time almost up. Watch me now. I mean, disrespecting my colleagues. And I'm not going to go respond like I'm a dog, like I'm a dirty dog or a dirty drunko. My parents never raised me so. And at no time you'll see me in the Parliament disrespecting my colleagues. And I'm not going to go on record and be go down in history long after this as somebody disrespectful to my colleagues who got their mandate, who the people of Jamaica love sufferation, so they voted for them. All I can do is, while I'm there, protect the people of Portland. Protect the people of Portland from the opposition constituencies. Because they're not going to come near me out. Protect the people of Portland from the ministers and the other people, the government people. That's my duty and my job. And I will say that the standing orders is far superior to some people that sit in that Parliament. Them can't read it, them cannot understand it, and they should sit with somebody who can tell them, so that they don't think that because they're on the government side, them can just brawl out them foot and say, you chat too much, shut up. You're not going to do me that. I don't care if it's disrespectful to the 10,000 constituents. Oh, okay. Yes. So I'm just sharing with you about the context, because when you look at how the media reports, and I'm gonna double down on this. When women tear down women in any space and reduce all of the accolades, the intelligence, the intellect, the tertiary accomplishments, the professionalism from accountants to attorneys to king's counsels in Malahoo Fort. Yes? To Dr. Angela Brown Burke. Just hear me out now. Just hear me out. The level of intellect collectively in Parliament and Senate, the quality of women in the parliament. It has to be embarrassing and disgraceful that the cat fight, the girl fight, which is what people will call it, reduces the progressive and building blocks of women, taking Portia Simpson to the highest office in the land. Gone in history, you can't take it from her as the prime minister of this country. That women cannot be the author of their demise. And I did say that as a caucus, they are to find ways to not tear down each other. And I'm not saying that they can't oppose, but it must not. You know, they have a saying, justice must be seen or appear to be done. So it is that unity must do that. Somebody said, but it's the men doing most of the girl fight. And that's just it. People don't record it that way. Because I saw a lot of men tracing the women, and I saw men in the parliament attacking the women in parliament on either side. And what carries the news is when Melissa Dalrymple attacks Nikisha Burchell. And that's the order of the day. Unless you're listening to Nationwide, who is carrying news about me saying women shouldn't be in parliament when I never said that. Or however they want to carry it. And listen, don't ever make it about me. I am fine. Right? The media can say what they want, but that's exactly the point. Anything that distracts from progressing Jamaica, doing the country's business, is always going to be a problem to me. You don't have to like me to pass legislation that benefits the people. Not giving me a water allocation is disenfranchising the people. And your reason for doing that is so that the people will hate me. But for the time being, you're hurting them and depriving them in an effort for them to sabotage me. But I did say the tabloid station is a messy station, so I don't expect better. And the people who already hate you, that jump on it without knowing the context, I understand that they never go through critical thinking and they don't have the ability to do their work research. But there's very little that you can say to me when you have people who you say are immune from certain things. Yeah? So the ministers and the people that gets deference because they hold the power. Dr. Dawes is right. You're not going to hold the power forever. And the standing orders, why I stand on them and say that they are to be respected, is that when the shoe is on the other foot, you don't want the very standing orders that you use to abuse the opposition used back against you. You don't want that. And so like law, like constitution, like everything, it is the execution, the human element that is responsible for application of the law that makes the difference. And I'm not going to take it any higher. So if women were in parliament, after all the women's movement had gone through, want to erase that by their conduct, it's a matter for them. I could have a conversation to say that I've counted the amount of members of parliament that have dreadlocks on them here, whether them are the pork eating kind or the fashion one, but the identity says that we represent Afro identity, and that must mean something for a parliamentary caucus of persons with Afro identity. how we treat each other and how we interact in the space representing the dreadlocks, the Afro identity is significant. But we're not ready to have these conversations because we're in the baga and the cascas that is pretty much guided by state media. But I digress. Tomorrow is another day, and next week is another topic. Thank you for listening to Context Matters. Those were my thoughts. Those were my actions. Appreciate all for listening, and I'm going to see you guys next week with another topic. Bing, 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 bing. I hate when this happened to me, you see? That's right. Yes, it's 6 o'clock.
It took some time to understand, yeah, just what it takes to be a man. Now it seems each day you learn something to make a better way. Growing up ain't just a phase, it's reality. And sometimes it's hard to face the world with your head screwed on. But in time you will see, it comes naturally, like the hurt and the pain. It's a part of the game. It's all a part of life, to laugh and to cry. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time to live a lie. Make it right. You know I heard them say, much better living your own way. You need a helping hand, just call me, I'll be friend. It's hard to face the world when you get screwed on. Just tell yourself you can, and that's when you'll understand that the hurt and the pain, it's a part of the game. It's all a part of life, to laugh and to cry. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep it straight. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. You gotta keep on moving on. Don't let no one stand in your way. Gotta keep on pressing on. As we pray for better days, keep it moving. Moving to the next. When they try to bring you down, we gotta take it. Take it to the next level when they come around. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time for living a lie. Gotta keep it moving till you get it right. That's right, it's all in life. Gotta keep your head up and keep your stride. No time to be living a lie. You can make it if you try. Just keep your head up, yeah. Just keep your head up, yeah. Gotta keep your head up, yeah. Cause everything's gonna be alright. Keep your head up. Cause everything's gonna be alright.
What kind of Tiffy? What kind of price is it? What talk to me? You have my attention. What kind of prices you talking about?